Would you rather ride upon the wings of your pain to your desired destination, or watch your pain pin you down to a point of no relevance? Allowing my disability to define me is one thing I'm never going to accept in life. Instead of being a drawback, my disability has turned out to be a device of influence, a step to greatness, and a tool to change my world, because I simply redefine my disability to suit my original purpose. My name is Justinah Oluwadara Ajayi. I'm an agricultural extension officer, a filmmaker, and a persons with disabilities rights advocate. You might be wondering what a person with disability is doing in the field of agriculture. Yes, I did it. Now let me take you down the memory lane. My journey into the world of disability began 2 years after I was born. Like every other child, I started walking, running, jumping everywhere. But then, what started as a mild fever ended as poliomyelitis, which claimed the whole part of my body. According to my parents, I was paralyzed from my neck region downward. But after a series of medical treatments and physical therapies, I was able to regain the use of my body parts, except my lower limbs. This was my health status when I became conscious of my disability. Accepting and growing up with this new reality was a very difficult thing for my parents and I. We are taught that, like the initial stage, this would also only be for a while. But no, it ended up being a lifelong crest I would have to wear, thanks to my crutches and my braces. Instead of being crushed by my crutches, I simply crushed on them. And rather than being embarrassed by my braces, I embraced them with excitement and pride. But that's not even where the story ends. When I discovered the possibility of fulfillment and happiness in a broken body, I began to push aside my excuses. I decided to serve. Then I began to closely watch my environment, and I came to realize that children with disability usually come from homes with low incomes, so they lack proper care and nourishment. Some of them go about begging for money and food. Majority do not have access to education. You know, there is this wrong assumption that children with disability are mentally incapable, and so they might not become something great in life. So why do we need to invest in them? Some young people with disabilities, they've accepted this wrong assumption and has found a mindset in them which made them to grow up in life with no motivation to succeed. But for me, in a bid to contribute positively to the society, especially the lives of upcoming young girls with disabilities, I envisioned having a home and an educational institution for children with disability, where there will be unlimited access to food, care, and nourishment, with educational facilities to establish and empower them in agribusinesses, ICT, and other vocational skills for capacity building, sustainability, and global relevance. With this, I believe we can raise a generation of responsible adults with no limitation to the actualization of their potential, irrespective of their disability. That's one of the reasons why I studied culture in the institution. Now you want to know how easy it was for a student with a disability to study in Nigeria. I did it. But it wasn't an exciting experience. You know, upon getting to school, almost all my lecturers never believed I could go, especially with the practical classes. Yes, you were right. You know, having to catch up with early morning fun practicals, which usually hold at the school farm, and require that we climb up the rock to sit and receive lectures. Because there was no other place to sit, and I didn't want any kind of PT and all those kind of things, I trained myself to do so. Although there were days I fell, I got up again on my way to farm or even classes. You know, receiving lectures from one side of the campus to the other were part of the struggles. And these were strong enough to dampen my mind. But instead of giving up, I trained myself to work at my own pace. I had no reason to give room for unnecessary comparison and competition with my mates without disability. Moving on in life, the determination to actualize my dreams and potentials kept me going, and I was able to pull through. Despite societal discrimination and stigmatization. I broke through my challenge. I overcame my fears at every stage, and I embraced what the future holds for me. Living with disability has taught me great lessons in life. Number one, I do not have to wait for everything is perfect before I take both steps in life. Yes, it might be difficult, of course, but it's worth the trial. The doctor who took care of me when I was growing up predicted that I was going to start working before the age of 12. And my parents were believers in the gospel of divine miracles and healing. But if they had waited till I was 12, or even till I start working before investing in my life and empowering me with necessary life skills and education, my life would have been a mess. Because it's already over 32 years of living with disability. I started schooling at the age of 6. It wasn't very easy. There were days I fell and I got injured because then I had not mastered the use of my crutches and my braces. But that did not stop me. Today, I'm proud of myself and I'm grateful for God, to my parents, that they made such a decision that particular time, though it wasn't easy for them. The second lesson, living in denial does not erase the realities of disability or any pain in life. What matters is my ability to turn around my disability to my advantage. As a teenager, I fought so hard to accept the realities of my disability. In fact, I hated the word disability with a very great passion. I believed in what my doctors and my pastor told me. In fact, it was when I was in secondary school that I actively and passionately attended programs for deliverance and healings. I wanted to be free. These were the days when I prayed, I cried, and passionately wished for a life without disability. But a time came in my life when I needed to agree with the existing reality. Initially, it felt like I was weak in faith and I was giving up already on myself. I never knew this was going to be my life's greatest selling point. I never knew that the God I was crying to had a purpose for my disability, which is for me to stand here today and comfort somebody that is going through whatever kind of pain, and to encourage others to look away from whatever disability and challenges they might have and begin to live a meaningful life. It was like this process of search for healing that I found purpose. That was when the journey of discovery for me began. Today, I want to urge young people around me to look away from their pain, to accept the reality, and begin to live a purposeful life so as not to waste the pain they are going through. You see, our minds are the factory where ideas are being birthed. These hands, the legs, and whatever we are waiting for are just tools to make things happen. We become invincible and sought after, with numerous hands and legs coming to our help when our minds are not disabled. The third lesson, everyone in life needs a support. We all need a support system. The support of my parents, my friends, and well-wishers gave me the courage to defy the odds of disability and reach out to fulfill my purpose in life. Because of that, I made up my mind to also be a source of encouragement to other people, because there actually was a purpose for my disability which must not be wasted. Today, I want to urge you all to know that everyone matters in this world, and there is a seat and a position for each and every one of us to occupy. Begin to take charge of your position in life. You are the voice your world is waiting to hear. Please do not die in silence. Thank you.